Good morning everyone, welcome to the video. It is Saturday the 30th of August 2025, and before we get on to Parkrun, I'm going to address the title and the thumbnail of this video, which is that yes, I have made the decision that the run streak is going to come to an end. Now I haven't decided how that's going to happen or when that's going to happen, just that it's going to happen fairly soon. So I'm over 2,000 days into my run streak now. I think it's about 2,078 or something like that. It's going to be 6 years at Christmas. And the reason that I started my run streak, and I've said this in previous videos, is that I needed to have something which I did every single day that kept me fit, kept me healthy, and kept me in the routine and in the habit of exercising. Now, I'm really fortunate that every year at the moment I'm able to go out to Spain with my family and my wife's family, and we have an amazing time. And when I run out there, there's a particular place that I run to, which about 5 or 6 years ago, I did something a little bit silly, or well, I think it's a little bit silly. Maybe you won't. But prior to starting my run streak, I actually quit drinking alcohol. And that was the year before I started my run streak. So I'm about 7 years in now, I think 6 or 7 years in. I'm not entirely sure. And the first couple of years of that are quite difficult, okay? Even just as a social drinker, you know, you're surrounded by it all the time. It's quite hard with the pressures around you to sort of keep saying no to something when people keep putting it under your nose. And when I was out in Spain, this one time I went for this run, and I found this kind of small, like, clearing area. And it was really sort of nice, nice run, nice picturesque spot. And I found this kind of flat slab of rock, and I just decided to mark down the number of days it had been since I made the decision to quit drinking alcohol. And then every year since, I've gone back to that same spot, found the slab of rock, and I've just kind of marked the next sort of set of days on it. So, you know, it's gone like 365, 820, whatever it be. Every year we'll add on like 365 or however many. And then this year I went back and it was gone. And I thought I'd be really gutted. I thought I'd be really upset, and that it would kind of sort of knock me sideways a little bit. But I wasn't really that bothered. I was just like, oh, okay, it's gone. Shall I start a new one? Nah, not really needing to. And I just kind of realised that we're constantly trying to find that destination, aren't we? We're constantly trying to find that end point. You know, and we can be guilty of that with our running. You know, I'll be happy when I can run a sub 25-minute 5k, or I'll be happy when I can run a sub 40-minute 10k, or I'll be happy when I can go under 3 hours for the marathon. And of course they are great milestones. Whatever your running sort of motivation is, whether it's for distances, whether it's for times, you know, you need those goals. They're really, really important, but they're not the most important thing. The destination isn't really what you're looking for. It's actually the journey that you're on. And it's who you become on that journey. And I think that kind of moment just made me realise that whilst I had that as an anchor, and I thought it was really important to always come back to that spot and always make that little mark, and if I didn't do it, it was going to sort of jinx, you know, not drinking alcohol and whatever it might be. And it didn't. And I'm sort of getting to that realisation now, I think, with my run streak. I don't think I need it anymore, because I'm doing other things that keep me fit and healthy. You know, I go to a gym about 6 days a week now. When I'm in Spain, I get to ride on some of the most amazing roads, but it usually takes me about a week or two to kind of get my riding fitness back and get comfortable on the bike again, and then I'm coming home. And that kind of like is a bit depressing, really, because this is an amazing opportunity. And I love riding my bike. It's a great exercise and something you can do, you know, for a long time. I think it's also important to note that, you know, I haven't really got any faster by running every day, but I've got better as a person, as well as being better sort of overall as a runner. And that's the kind of takeaway message for me from this, and from that journey. So what next? Where does the channel go from here? Well, it's not going, but obviously the name will probably have to change in order to be a true and accurate reflection of what we are doing here. And so I've had some musings on this, and let me know if you've got this far in the video what you think. But I came home from a run daily run, of course, a couple of months ago, and sort of snuck back in the house. And my little boy was downstairs, and I heard my wife call to him from upstairs, and she said, "Have you seen your dad?" And he just went, "Dad's gone running." And I thought, that's quite catchy. Dad's gone running. So maybe that will be the channel name. And when it changes, we'll see. And I'm coming close now to 2,000 subscribers, which when I started this YouTube channel, I would not have had any like hopes or dreams of getting there. I wanted it, but I never thought that would be possible. You know, it might be that this loses a few subscribers, but maybe over the long term, it evolves into something better than I've got at the moment. Maybe it allows me to be a bit more connected to the audience and a bit more maybe authentic about kind of the experiences that we're having, not just as dads but as moms and parents of small humans, as we try to make sure we hold on to a little bit of ourselves and try and live a better life. I saw something the other day that said, you die for your children, but would you live for them? Would you live for them? And that means keeping yourself healthy and fit in mind and in body. So with that in mind, let's cut this off, let's get out the door, and let's get down to Parkrun. All right, let's get down to the start line. So we are at the Aldershot Parkrun, or Rushmore Parkrun as it is known. We're in Army country for this run today. Now, I haven't done a parkrun in must be a good like 3 months. I think it was probably the last one I did, Brooklands, I think, just as we're hitting that really hot spell of weather here in the UK. Maybe not 3 months, maybe it was about 2 months. So I've got no idea how I'm going to do today. Over the summer I've tried to keep the sort of intensity of my training up, but I haven't been following a specific plan. I did some intervals on the treadmill the other day at 4 minute per kilometre pace, but we'll see. Let me get my excuses in now. Drove back from Spain, started that journey last Wednesday, got to the UK, I got back to our house on the, no, when did we leave? Left Spain on the Sunday morning, got back to the house on Wednesday morning. So I had 4 days of travel and driving, plus a 21-hour boat journey. So my legs are feeling a bit wobbly, a bit kind of all over the place. So I've got no real sort of clue how it's going to go today. I'm going to put my predicted time in at somewhere between 20 minutes and 50 seconds and 21:15. So yeah, we'll go between 20:50 and 21:15. Anyway, what I love about this parkrun is, oh no, you can't do it today because they're doing stuff to the track. Look, there must be something going on. That's annoying, and that's where the toilets are as well. Toilets in there?
Sorry?
Toilets in there?
They are, yes.
In that building there?
Yeah, literally
Oh,
just
okay.
the other side of
Around there. Cool. Thank you. They are in, so this building here, but just go around to the other side of it.
Thanks.
Okay, no worries. I'm in marshal duties today. I'm wearing yellow, but it's not high vis. So, like this parkrun, it is 2 laps, 2.5k for each lap. I think it's pretty quick, but it gets quite a low rating on the sort of Power 10 or whatever it is, the parkrun rating website. But I think it's got the potential to be pretty speedy, but probably not me today. Pure blue skies today, but yesterday it was absolutely smashing it down with rain, so it's going to be interesting to see what the terrain is like with yesterday's sort of rainfall and whether it's quite puddly. Alright, that is my warm-up complete. So now I'll do my usual thing, which is to line up based on the calibre of running shoes or running apparel. Anyone that is wearing anything by Nick Bester, possibly Harry Morgan, they're the people you want to be near. And then start working your way down the body, look at the shoes, what shoes have they got on, so that'll give you a good indication of where you are on the start line. Okay, here we go, off the start. Over 600 people at Parkrun today, which is absolutely fantastic. let's keep an eye out for man in the nuts vest over my shoulder there on the left hand side of the screen. We'll come back to him later, but I had a good chat with him at the start of the park run just as we were warming up. And then two young lads in orange, particularly this young lad here who's just hurdling over puddles like they're absolutely nothing. We're running at a sub-4 pace as well at this point. So like I said at the start, 2-lap course, 2.5k per lap, multi-surface but fairly sort of good terrain throughout, mixture of paths, composite surface and a little bit of packed sort of canal path, gravelly, towpathy type stuff. You know the stuff. Started off pretty well, but already starting to feel it.
First kilometre coming up, 3:59. Undoubtedly, I'm going to start slowing up. Oh, I'm already breathing really hard.
Yeah, the bad negative thoughts are already kicking in after the first kilometre. Don't let them get you in. You did a 3:59. That's pretty solid stuff. Two young lads in orange doing really well there, stretching out a bit of a gap over me already at this point. Just coming along the canal before turning back towards the start finish.
Oh, up the hill, and then that's 2k, and 4:03, 8 minutes in.
So that's not a bad second kilometre, 4:03. So we are on for around 20 minutes at the moment. Good honourable mention to the lad in black that's just going past me as well. We stayed together for most of the next lap, and he gave me some really encouraging words as well when you could see that I was struggling. And we're just catching up here, just on the right of the screen with man in nuts vest, and I think we'll just be able to sort of take past him in the next sort of few moments and a few strides. But as we enter this second lap now, I'm really starting to struggle, just coming to the end of the third kilometre, into that dreaded fourth kilometre, which always seems to get me in the 5k.
I'm finding it hard now. Almost into the last game. That was a 4:13, slowest one yet. There's some back markers to deal with now, but shouldn't be too bad.
That's the good thing about this course as well. Big laps, that means you don't come into sort of much congestion and much traffic once you get out of the initial sort of start-finish area. But yeah, coming into that fourth kilometre, did a 4:13 for kilometre 4.
Into the last 400, I haven't really got much left, but that's okay. That's been a good run. Let's just finish it off.
Just take a moment to absorb the different types of breathing that you'll hear over the next few seconds. And an enthusiastic marshal to finish as well. There we go. Park run complete.
And a 4:15 to finish. Wow. Right. Let's debrief. We'll get back to the car. A couple of things. Forgot my sunglasses and hat today. Didn't realise how much of a difference that makes when it's a really bright sunny day like this. So, finish time was 20:43. I predicted a 20:50 to 21:15, so I have to be pretty happy with that. Chorus has me down having great efficiency. Did not feel like it, Chorus. Average pace was 4:08, but average effort pace was 4:04. So I guess that takes into account wind, terrain, elevation. There's barely any elevation. It's 14 meters. You know, from a feeling point of view, I don't know how much of a difference, I don't know how much of an impact the travels had. You know, sort of 15-20 hours worth of driving, 21 hours on the boat. My legs haven't felt right since we got off that boat. You get that kind of rocky, sort of sway feeling. Anyone that's done a long sort of boat journey will know that. So I don't know what kind of impact that has, but just from like a breathing perspective, like I felt really sort of tight in the chest really early on, and I have done ever since we got back from holiday. So again, I don't know whether that's just sort of the fatigue from all the travel, just feeling a bit run down. I mean, I shouldn't do, because I've had sort of 4 weeks off. If anything, I should be as fresh as a daisy. But there's a bit of work to do. You know, 20:44 is nearly a minute off my PB around this course, which is 19:49. And you know, in all honesty, can I see myself running that quick at the moment? No way, not a hope. So I've got to go back to the basics a little bit. I've got to start running at those sub 4 minute kilometre paces in interval sessions, and running above that for shorter reps. I've got to get comfortable at that pace again, because I am not at the moment. And that's kind of it really. Kilometre splits were 3:59, 4:03, 4:02. So, you know, as predicted, the first 3k is always sort of fairly strong, but it's what happens in that 4th and 5th kilometre that makes all the difference, you know. And essentially I lost 30 seconds in kilometre 4 and kilometre 5. So I did a 4:13 and a 4:15, you know, so that's a significant kind of drop off in pace. You know, the average being sort of 4:08. Had I gone out at that at the start, would I maybe have had a bit more to push at the end? Who knows? But that's the skill of racing a 5k, which you know, I've had some chats with people online recently. I haven't got that skill at the moment, and it's something I do need to work on. But anyway, we'll leave it there, and hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully the bombshell at the start of the video is not going to send too many of you away. Maybe it'll bring some more of you in. So if you do like the content today, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that useful YouTube algorithm stuff. And I will see you in a new video very soon.